Why does it feel like no one believes anything anymore? Why does every headline come with suspicion, every leader with doubt, every truth with quotation marks around it? We live in an age where trust has collapsed. Not slowly, not gently, but like a building detonated from the inside. One blast after another, until all that remains is dust, confusion, and fear. And here's the shocking part. This collapse didn't happen by accident. It was designed. Leaders discovered long ago that trust is power. If people trust, they unify. If people unify, they resist corruption. They demand justice. They become dangerous to those who profit from lies. But if trust collapses, if you no longer believe your neighbor, your government, your institutions, or even yourself, then control becomes easy. Because in a world where nothing is true, everything can be manipulated. And when you can't tell truth from lie, who do you cling to? The loudest voice, the one that promises certainty, even if it's a lie. That is the strategy: shatter trust, leave people grasping for certainty, then feed them certainty packaged as propaganda. Politicians know this game, media knows this game, social platforms know this game. They drip poison into the well, then offer you a bottled cure for a price. And the people drink it, not because they are weak, but because they are thirsty. Thirsty for something, anything, to believe in. Haven't you felt it yourself? That creeping suspicion? That voice inside whispering, what if none of this is real? What if I can't trust them or you or anyone? That's the collapse of trust. It's not just societal, it's personal. And once it sets in, it eats away at everything. Trust in media, gone. Trust in leaders, broken. Trust in science, religion, systems, even friendships, shattered. We are left in fragments. And when people live in fragments, they cannot unite. And a people who cannot unite cannot resist. That's why this collapse is not an accident. It's useful. Because in confusion, the few who control the narrative can shape reality itself. Look around. Every tragedy, every event, immediately spun into 50 competing stories. What happened? Who's to blame? What it means? Each version contradicting the last. You read one headline, you see one clip, and you think, yes, that must be true. Then you swipe, and another source tells you the exact opposite. And you realize truth has become slippery, ungraspable. This isn't information anymore. It's weaponized chaos. Think about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Before the body was even cold, politicians were already shaping it. Some blamed the left, some blamed the right, some called it justice, others called it martyrdom. The facts drowned beneath the noise. The grief drowned beneath the agendas. And the people were left angrier, more divided, less certain than ever before. This is why hatred feels bottomless right now. It isn't just anger at injustice. It's the exhaustion of never knowing what's real. Because when you cannot trust, you cannot rest. And when you cannot rest, you become brittle, angry, ready to lash out. And here's where Stoic wisdom becomes not just helpful, but essential. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If someone can show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth." Notice the posture, calm, open, humble, the opposite of today's outrage culture. The Stoics built their strength not on blind trust, but on clarity, on the discipline to separate what is within their control from what is not. You cannot control the collapse of trust around you, but you can control how you navigate. Because when the world screams 50 versions of truth at you, the only place to stand is in the clarity of your own mind. But let's be honest, it's not just leaders who broke trust. It's all of us. We click on the stories that confirm what we already believe. We share the memes that make them look stupid. We laugh at their pain, cheer when they fail, rage when they succeed. We have all fed this collapse, and unless we face that, we'll keep drinking the poison. So how do we rebuild? Not by demanding blind trust again. That era is gone. Rebuilding trust means something deeper: courage. The courage to slow down before reacting. The courage to say, "I don't know," when the truth isn't clear. The courage to seek evidence before outrage. The courage to see your enemy not as a monster, but as a human manipulated by the same forces manipulating you. Because here's the truth the system doesn't want you to see. The person across from you isn't your enemy. The collapse of trust itself is. They profit from your suspicion. They thrive on your hatred. They win when you cannot believe in anything or anyone. That's why every major institution has been tainted. Media, biased, politics, corrupt, religion, weaponized, science, bought. And when you see the flaws, the failures, the scandals, the corruption, you're tempted to throw it all away, to believe in nothing, to trust no one. But that's the trap, because a society that trusts nothing cannot build anything. And when you cannot build, you become dependent on those who already hold power. This is not just about politics, it's about your life. When trust collapses, relationships collapse. When relationships collapse, families collapse. And when families collapse, nations collapse. All because we no longer know who or what to believe. So the real question is, how do we live in a world where trust is gone? The Stoics would answer, you return to virtue. You make yourself trustworthy, even when others are not. You live with integrity, even when surrounded by lies. You anchor yourself in clarity, even when the world is chaos. Because no system can take that from you. You want to resist manipulation. You want to break free from the collapse of trust. Then stop outsourcing your truth to politicians, to parties, to influencers. Build your truth on discipline, reason, and virtue. And demand the same from yourself that you demand from others. Because the collapse of trust isn't just out there, it's in here. And the rebuilding starts with you. Trust is power, division is the weapon, awareness is the shield. So remember this, they will keep lying, they will keep spinning, they will keep fueling hatred, because it works. But it only works if you let it. The collapse of trust ends the moment you decide to stop feeding it, to choose clarity over chaos, to choose virtue over outrage, to choose unity over division. Because a people who trust nothing are weak, but a people who learn to trust again, not blindly but wisely, courageously, become unstoppable. Subscribe, share, hit the notification bell for the next episode. Thanks for being here with the Stoic Quotient, where ancient strength meets modern life.